You've watched movies on the Italian Mafia. You might know Sicily's Cosa Nostra from the Godfather movies.
Come on, you think I make my sister a widow? I'm godfather to your son, Carl.
Or the famous Neapolitan Camorra from the TV series Camorra. But you've likely never heard of the most powerful and dangerous criminal organization of all, which operates in 5 continents, including Australia. They're called the Ndrangheta Mafia, and here's 4 things you need to know about them. The group has its origins in southern Italy in an area called Calabria. They live in one of Italy's poorest regions. The group dates back to the unification of Italy in 1861. Initially, they were an offshoot of the famous Sicilian Mafia, Cosa Nostra. But in the 60s and 70s, they made their money by kidnapping for ransom. The most famous of these kidnappings was that of Jean Paul Getty. His family paid $3 million for his release after his severed ear was sent over in the mail. But they were only declared mafia under Italian law in 2010. Authorities started to investigate them more seriously after a massacre outside a pizza shop in Duisburg, Germany in 2007. 6 rival clan members were killed in the incident. Authorities believe there are 115 Ndrangheta families living in Calabria with at least 6,000 affiliates in the region, and thousands more in 31 countries worldwide. Outside of Italy, the largest number of Ndrangheta outposts is in Toronto, Canada. In 2013, a think tank estimated that the group's annual turnover is more than $61 billion. That's more than the combined revenues of McDonald's and Deutsche Bank, and roughly 3% of Italy's GDP. They're so wealthy that a 2014 book published on the mafia retells the story of a wiretap between 2 mobsters. They were digging out a stash of money buried in the forest. One tells the other that millions are rotten because of the humidity. The other responds, "Just throw it away." Yeah, like that moment in Narcos where Pablos uses $100 bills to fight a fire. The Ndrangheta Mafia keep the business in the family. The blood ties between members makes it hard to infiltrate because there aren't many turncoats. Authorities say that they make most of their money through the drug trade, specifically cocaine. They are estimated to control as much as 80% of Europe's cocaine trade and have close links to drug cartels in Mexico and Colombia, but also are involved in extortion, illegal waste trafficking, and money laundering. They've used this enormous flow of money to start shell companies and invest in the legitimate economy in things like restaurants, construction, and supermarkets. Some say that 1 out of every 3 restaurants in Rome and Milan are owned by them. And in 2015, they were even found to be behind one of New York's famous pizzerias. And like in many of the good mafia movies, the group is being pursued by Chief Prosecutor and Investigator Niccolo Gratteri. He spent 3 decades of his life fighting the Ndrangheta, and as a result has over 15 bodyguards and a heavily armored car to protect him. As early as 1989, a gunman fired at his fiance's house saying, "You're marrying a dead man." But he's still alive, and his work hasn't been in vain. In December 2019, 344 people, including lawyers, accountants, police chiefs, a former mayor, and former Italian MP, were rounded up on charges related to the Ndrangheta. In mid-January of 2021, the Maxi trial began. It's Italy's biggest mafia trial in 30 years. The trial includes 900 prosecution witnesses, 400 lawyers, and 58 state witnesses. During a recent hearing, it took 3 hours just to read the names of all the defendants, many of whom had nicknames like the Uncle, the Wolf, Sweetie, Blondie, and the Ringer. Can Italy defeat its most powerful crime syndicate?